The Great Hall of the Galactic Union was the largest room Park had ever seen. It stretched so far that he could barely see the other end. Thousands of seats rose up in circles, like a stadium, but bigger than any stadium on Earth. Strange lights floated in the air above, casting no shadows. The walls were made of some material that looked like glass but felt alive somehow. Stood at the back of the human section, his hands clasped behind his back. He wore his marine dress uniform, dark blue with silver buttons. His job was simple: stand here, look alert, protect the ambassador if anything went wrong. He had done this kind of work many times before. It was boring, but he did not mind boring. Boring meant safe. Around him, the hall filled with aliens. Had seen pictures of alien species during his training, but pictures did not prepare him for the real thing. Some aliens were tall and thin, with skin like tree bark. Others floated in tanks of colored liquid, their bodies like jellyfish. A group near the front had too many legs to count. Another species looked like giant insects, with hard shells and clicking mandibles. The insects were called had read about them. They were one of the oldest species in the Union. They looked down on everyone, especially humans. Lieutenant stood a few meters away from. She was his commanding officer, a small woman with sharp eyes and a sharper mind. She noticed everything. Right now, she was watching the delegates with a careful expression. At the front of the human section sat Ambassador. She was an older woman with gray hair pulled back tight. She had spent 30 years in diplomacy. She knew how to smile when she wanted to scream. Today, she smiled a lot. The other species were not being kind. Humanity had joined the Galactic Union only 50 years ago. In galactic terms, this was nothing. Some species here had been traveling between stars for 100,000 years. To them, humans were bobbies, newcomers, primitives who had just learned to walk. The summit today was called the Threat Assessment Conference. Every year, species from across the galaxy gathered to share information about dangerous creatures. They showed recordings of predators from different worlds. They discussed how to protect their people from these threats. It was part science, part warning, part showing off. Understood the real purpose. Each species wanted to prove that their world was dangerous, that they had survived something terrible. It was a strange kind of pride. Look at the monsters we defeated. Look how strong we must be. The first presentation began. A species called the showed footage of something that lived in their oceans. It was like a snake, but it was 300 meters long. Its mouth could swallow a shuttle. The creature moved through dark water, hunting by sound. They explained how they had learned to avoid its territory. They had never killed one. They simply stayed away. The audience made sounds of appreciation, clicking, humming, whatever passed for applause among different species. The next presentation came from a world of endless forests. The predator there was invisible. It bent light around its body. It hunted by sensing heat. Hundreds of colonists had died before they learned to detect it. Now they wore special suits that masked their body heat. More applause. Watched with mild interest. The creatures were impressive, he admitted, but he noticed something. Every species talked about avoiding their predators, running from them, hiding from them, building walls against them. No one talked about killing them. A slug-like creature moved to the center stage. This was Archivist, one of the oldest beings in the Union. His body was gray and wet, leaving a trail of slime behind him. But his mind was said to be brilliant. He had spent 10,000 years collecting information about dangerous species across the galaxy. His voice was wet and bubbling, but the translator made it clear. Now we come to a new member of our union, the humans of Earth, a young species, a curious species. I have studied their world with great interest. Felt the attention shift. Thousands of alien eyes turned toward the human section. He kept his face blank, stood. Ambassador maintained her diplomatic smile. A delegate named made a sound like grinding stones. Is this necessary? The humans are small, soft. Their world is mostly water. What threats could they possibly have faced? Some aliens made sounds that might have been laughter. Raised a slimy appendage. Patience, delegate, I think you will find Earth quite interesting. The humans have shared their historical records with me. Their world was once home to remarkable predators. Was clicked his mandibles. They are gone. Extinct, confirmed. Most of them. This is what makes the human so fascinating. Noticed Ambassador's smile flicker. Just for a moment. She knew something was coming, something that might change how these aliens saw humanity. Activated the holographic display. Let us begin with the creatures that once ruled Earth. I warn you, some of these images may be disturbing. The lights dimmed. The first image appeared floating in the air above the stage. It was large and clear, showing every detail. Recognized it immediately. He had seen them in movies, in museums, in his nightmares as a child. The great white shark hung in the air, frozen mid-strike. Its mouth was open. Rows and rows of teeth gleamed in the light. Its eyes were black and empty, dead eyes, hunting eyes. The audience went silent. Completely silent. Allowed himself a small smile. This was going to be interesting. The great white shark rotated slowly in the holographic display. Every tooth was visible, every scar on its gray skin. Its body was perfect for killing. No wasted parts, no decoration, just muscle and teeth and hunger. Archivist's wet voice filled the silent hall. This creature is called the great white shark. It lived in Earth's oceans for millions of years. It could grow up to 6 meters long. It could smell blood from kilometers away. When it attacked, it struck from below, hitting its prey with such force that the victim was often killed instantly. A delegate from a water-dwelling species made a high-pitched sound of fear. Its translator said, "This thing lived in water, with the humans." The humans swam in the same waters, confirmed. They built boats. They crossed oceans filled with these creatures. The delegate leaned forward. His compound eyes reflected the hologram. Surely they avoided these animals, built barriers, stayed away. Made a sound like bubbling mud. It might have been a laugh. No, delegate, the humans hunted them. Silence again. The image changed. Now a new creature appeared. It was long and low, covered in armored scales. Its snout was massive, filled with teeth that locked together like a trap. Its tail was thick with muscle. Its eyes were ancient, patient, waiting. The crocodile announced, "This predator has remained almost unchanged for 200 million years. It was already perfect. It did not need to evolve further. It could grow up to 7 meters long. It would wait in shallow water completely still for hours, days. When prey came close, it would explode from the water and drag its victim under to drown." Watched the aliens' reactions. Many of them had moved back in their seats. A species covered in soft fur was trembling. They were very still, their mandibles frozen. "This creature still exists on Earth," added. "The humans share their world with it. They swim in rivers where it lives." "That is insane," someone said. The translator did not identify who. Ambassador kept her face calm but could see the tension in her shoulders. She had not expected this presentation. None of them had. They did not know what was trying to prove. The next image made several aliens cry out in alarm. The Siberian tiger stood in snow, its orange and black stripes bright against the white. It was huge, with paws the size of dinner plates. Its eyes were golden and intelligent. Its teeth were long and curved. Everything about it said one word: killer. The tiger said, "A perfect ambush predator, silent, patient, strong enough to kill prey 5 times its own weight." The humans lived alongside these creatures for thousands of years. In some places, tigers would enter human villages at night. They would take people from their beds. Lieutenant made a small sound, glanced at her. Her jaw was tight. She was not afraid. She was angry. She understood now. This presentation was meant to make humans look weak, to show that Earth was dangerous but that humans had survived only by luck. The image changed again and again. The polar bear, white as death, standing on ice. A predator that could smell prey from 30 kilometers away. That could break through ice to catch seals. That had no fear of anything. The Komodo dragon, with its forked tongue and bacteria-filled mouth. A patient hunter that would bite once and then follow its prey for days, waiting for infection to weaken it. The African lion, the spotted hyena, the gray wolf, the grizzly bear. Each image brought new sounds of fear from the audience, stood still, watching. He had grown up knowing about these animals. He had seen them in books, in documentaries, some of them in zoos. To him, they were just part of Earth's history, normal, but to these aliens they were nightmares made flesh. Seemed pleased with the reaction. These are only a few examples. Earth produced thousands of apex predators. Many are now extinct. The humans call this period of their history the Holocene extinction. In just a few thousand years, most of these creatures disappeared. Stood up, his shell clicking. You prove my point, archivist. The humans are lucky. These creatures died from natural causes, disease, climate change. The soft little humans simply outlasted them by accident. No, delegate's voice was soft now, almost gentle. That is not what happened. Then what killed them? Turned to look at the human delegation. His ancient eyes were unreadable. The humans did. His mandibles stopped moving. What? The humans hunted them, killed them, ate them, wore their skins, took their teeth as prizes. The humans did not hide from these predators. They did not run, they fought, and they won, every single time. The hall was completely silent. Thousands of aliens stared at the small group of humans. And from the back of the human section, a quiet voice spoke in accented Union Standard. It was calm, almost bored. I have eaten one of those. Every eye turned to look at Corporal Park. He had not meant to speak. The words had simply come out. He looked at the hologram of the crocodile, still floating in the air, and remembered his grandmother's kitchen. The smell of the stew, the taste of the meat. Lieutenant closed her eyes briefly. Ambassador's diplomatic smile finally cracked. An archivist made that bubbling sound again, his whole body quivering with excitement. You consumed one of these apex predators. Which one? How? Please tell us everything. Swallowed, he was not good with attention, but he would not lie. He would not take back his words. The crocodile, he said simply. My grandmother made soup. Corporal Park felt every alien eye on him. Thousands of beings from hundreds of worlds, all staring at one human soldier standing in the back of the hall. He wished he had stayed quiet, but it was too late now. Archivist moved closer, leaving a trail of slime on the polished floor. His wet voice trembled with excitement. Please, human, come forward, tell us more. Looked at Lieutenant, she gave him a tiny nod. Her eyes said, you started this, now finish it. He walked down the aisle between rows of aliens. Some leaned away from him as he passed. A species covered in soft feathers made a frightened chirping sound, kept his eyes forward. His boots clicked on the floor. The sound was very loud in the silent hall. He stopped next to. Up close, the archivist smelled like wet earth and old books, tried not to breathe through his nose. You said you ate the crocodile, said. The creature that has survived unchanged for 200 million years. The perfect predator. You ate it. Yes. How these creatures are enormous, armored, deadly. Thought about how to explain. He was not good with words. He was a soldier, not a speaker, but he would try. My grandmother lived in a village, he said slowly, near a river. Crocodiles were a problem. They ate livestock. Sometimes they ate people. The villagers would hunt them. Hunt them? His voice was sharp with disbelief. Those soft humans with what weapons? Spears, traps, later guns, but my grandmother was old. She remembered the time before guns. Her father hunted crocodiles with just a knife and rope. The hall erupted in sounds, clicking, humming, whistling. The translators struggled to keep up with the noise. "That is impossible," declared. "One human against that creature, with a knife." "He did not fight alone," said. "Humans never fight alone. Many hunters worked together. They set traps. They waited. They were patient. When the crocodile was caught, one man would hold its mouth shut while others tied it. Then they killed it." "And then you ate it." "Yes, the meat is good, tastes like chicken." Paused. "Many things taste like chicken." His body quivered. "What about the others, the shark, the tiger, the bear?" Turned to look at the hologram still floating above the stage. The shark, the tiger, the polar bear, the Komodo dragon, all of them ancient predators that had ruled their environments for millions of years. "We eat the shark," he said. "Shark fin soup is famous, very expensive. We had to make laws to stop people from killing too many sharks." "You killed so many that you needed laws to stop." "Yes, they were becoming extinct. We killed them faster than they could breed." A murmur ran through the crowd. Continued. "The tiger we also hunted, for fur, for medicine, for sport. The tiger population became very small. Now they are protected. We are trying to save them." "Save them from what?" a small alien asked. "From us." The hall was silent again. Lieutenant stepped forward now. She stood beside, her posture straight and confident. She was smaller than him, but she seemed larger somehow. Her voice carried across the hall without effort. "What the corporal is saying," she said, "is that humans did not simply survive alongside these predators. We did not hide. We did not run. We dominated them, every single apex predator on our planet. We hunted them until there were almost none left." She pointed at the hologram of the polar bear. "We hunted the largest land predator in the Arctic. We made coats from its fur." She pointed at the great white shark. "We hunted the most feared creature in our oceans. We made soup from its fins. We made jewelry from its teeth." She pointed at the tiger. "We hunted the most perfect killing machine in our jungles. We hung its skin on our walls as decoration." Her voice grew harder. "The only reason any of these creatures still exist is because we decided to let them live. We passed laws. We created protected areas. We built zoos to keep them safe, not from other predators, from us." Ambassador rose from her seat and walked forward. Her diplomatic smile was gone. In its place was something older, something that remembered what humans really were. "The delegate asked what threats we faced on Earth," she said. "Now you know, we faced every predator our world could create, and we won. Not because we were stronger, not because we were faster, not because we had claws or teeth or venom. We won because we are stubborn. We do not give up. We do not stop. If something tries to kill us, we find a way to kill it first. And then we eat it." She looked directly at, "You called us soft. You are right. Our skin is soft. We have no armor, no natural weapons. But every predator that underestimated us is now extinct or exists only because we allow it." His mandibles clicked rapidly. He had no words. Stood quietly beside his superiors. He had not meant to cause this moment. He had just told the truth about his grandmother's crocodile stew. But looking at the fear in alien eyes, he understood something. The truth about humans was terrifying enough. The assembly hall broke into chaos. Aliens spoke over each other in dozens of languages. Translators buzzed and clicked, trying to keep up. Some delegates left their seats to move closer to the human section. Others moved away, pressing against the far walls. Archivist had not moved. His ancient body trembled as he accessed more data from his memory banks. His wet voice cut through the noise. "I am finding more information in the human historical records," he announced. "This is remarkable. The humans have a term. They call it megafauna extinction. Everywhere humans spread on their planet, large predators disappeared." He projected new images into the air. Strange creatures that no longer existed. The woolly mammoth, gone. The saber-toothed cat, Gone, the giant ground sloth. Gone, the dire wolf. Gone, all of them vanished within thousands of years of human arrival in their territories. A delegate from the water dwellers raised a tentacle. Are you saying the humans killed all of these creatures? The evidence suggests yes. The humans hunted them for food, for fur, for territory. They did not stop until the animals were gone. Listened quietly. He knew this history. Every human child learned it in school, but hearing it described by an alien made it sound different, more brutal, more final. Was not finished. I am also finding references to something called whaling. The humans hunted the largest animals to ever exist on their planet, creatures called whales. Some were 30 meters long. The humans chased them across oceans in small wooden boats. They threw spears at them. They dragged them to shore. They boiled their fat for lamp oil. In wooden boats, someone asked, across oceans, chasing creatures that size. Yes, for centuries. They nearly made the whales extinct too. A small alien approached the human group. It was covered in soft gray fur and stood only waist-high too. Its large eyes blinked rapidly. The translator identified it as a member of the collective. Please, it said, its voice shaking slightly. I need to understand. Your species has no claws, no venom, no armor, no great strength. How did you become the hunters instead of the hunted? Considered the question. Lieutenant and ambassador were busy speaking with other delegates. This small creature had come to him. He would try to answer. We work together, he said simply. One human is weak, many humans are strong. But surely the predators were still more dangerous. Yes, but we did not stop. If we failed, we tried again. If one way did not work, we found another way. We made tools, spears, traps, fire. We used our minds when our bodies were not enough. And if the predator was still stronger? Thought about this. Then we waited, we followed. There is something humans can do that most animals cannot. We can run for a very long time, not fast but far. We would chase an animal for hours, days, until it collapsed from exhaustion. Then we killed it. The small alien stared at him. You chased your prey until it died from exhaustion. Yes, it is called persistence hunting. Our ancestors did it for thousands of years. The animal runs, we follow. It runs again, we follow again. Eventually, it cannot run anymore. We never stopped. We never gave up. The alien took a step back. That is horrifying. It is survival, said. He did not mean it to sound threatening. It was simply true. Across the hall, Delegate had finally approached Lieutenant. His shell clicked as he moved. His compound eyes were impossible to read, but his voice was different now. Quieter, more careful. You let us believe you were harmless, he said. You have been part of this union for 50 years. You smiled. You agreed. You acted humble. This was a deception. Met his gaze without flinching. No, Delegate, we did not deceive you. We simply did not correct your assumptions. There is a difference. You hid your true nature. We showed you exactly who we are. You looked at our soft skin and dull teeth and decided we were weak. That was your mistake, not ours. His mandibles clicked slowly. What else have you not told us about your species? Allowed herself a small smile. Would you like to hear about our wars? Was silent for a long moment. Then he asked, your wars, you fight among yourselves. We used to. For thousands of years, humans fought other humans for land, for resources, for ideas, for power. We developed weapons that could destroy entire cities in seconds. We built bombs that could poison the air for centuries. You used these weapons against your own kind. Twice, then we decided to stop. She paused. Most of us decided to stop. Took a step back. For the first time, fear showed in his body language. His shell seemed to draw inward. And you joined this union, he said slowly. You brought this nature into our community. You sit among peaceful species, smiling and nodding while carrying this history inside you. His expression did not change. Every species carries its history, delegate. We do not hide ours. We simply do not advertise it. We came to this union seeking peace. We mean it. But do not mistake our desire for peace as inability to fight. She stepped closer to him, her voice dropped lower. We chose to be peaceful. We can choose differently. Said nothing. He turned and walked away, his shell clicking rapidly. Watched him go. He wondered if they would ever look at humans the same way again. He suspected not. Probably that was for the best. The summit ended 3 hours later, but the real conference had finished the moment spoke about crocodile soup. Everything after that was just echoes. Word spread through the station like fire. By the time the human delegation reached their shuttle bay, aliens were watching them from every corridor, not with the dismissive glances of before. Now their eyes held something else. Respect, fear, curiosity, sometimes all three at once. A group of young aliens whispered to each other as passed. Their translators were turned off, but he could guess what they were saying. Look at them. The predator killers, the ones who ate extinction. Kept his eyes forward and his face blank. He was a soldier. He was used to being watched. Archivist caught up with them at the shuttle bay entrance. His slug-like body moved faster than seemed possible, leaving a wide trail of slime on the floor. Station cleaning robots followed behind him, working hard. "Please," said his wet voice urgent, "before you leave, I must speak with the corporal just for a moment." Lieutenant looked at, he nodded slightly. She stepped aside. Moved up close, the ancient creature smelled even stronger, like a swamp that had been cooking for 10,000 years, tried not to react. "I have catalogued over 4,000 apex predators from 200 worlds," said. His voice was softer now, almost gentle. "I have studied the most dangerous creatures the galaxy has produced. I have seen species with acid blood, species that exist as living storms, species that can kill with a thought." He paused, his ancient eyes locked onto his face. "None of them frighten me the way your species does." Did not know how to respond, so he stayed silent. "Do you know why?" continued. "It is not because of what you are. You are soft, slow, fragile. A single strike from any true predator would kill you, but that is exactly why you are terrifying." "I do not understand." "Your species became apex predators without any of the tools evolution normally provides. You have no claws, no venom, no armor, no great speed or strength. You should have been food for other creatures. Instead, you became the thing that ate everything else." His body shivered. "That is not evolution. That is will, pure, stubborn, relentless will. You decided to be at the top of your food chain and then you made it happen." Considered this. He had never thought of humans this way. To him, humans were just humans. They did what they needed to survive. Everyone did. "My grandmother used to say something," he said slowly. "She said, the tiger is strong, but the village survives. One human cannot beat a tiger, but humans are never just one. We are always a village. We work together. We protect each other. We share what we learn." And the tiger almost smiled. The tiger becomes soup. Made that wet bubbling sound again. Laughing maybe, or crying, it was hard to tell. "I will remember that," he said. "I will add it to my records. The tiger becomes soup. Yes, that summarizes your species perfectly." He began to move away, then stopped. "One more question, Corporal. Do you believe humans are dangerous?" Thought about his grandmother's village, about the crocodiles in the river, about the stories of tigers in the forest, about the wars his great-grandfather had survived, about the weapons humanity had built and chosen not to use. "Yes," he said, "we are very dangerous, but we try not to be, we try to be better. That is also what makes us human." Stared at him for a long moment. Then he turned and slithered away without another word. The shuttle ride back to their ship was quiet. Ambassador sat in the front reviewing messages on her. Lieutenant sat across from her, eyes closed. She was not sleeping. She was thinking. Finally she spoke. You caused quite a problem today, Corporal. Yes, ma'am, I apologize. No, her eyes opened. There was a hint of a smile on her face. You did well. Sometimes the truth is the best weapon, better than any gun or ship. Ambassador looked up from her. The station has already updated their species database. Humanity has been reclassified. Reclassified to what? Asked. Apex Predator, Extreme Threat Classification. Its expression was unreadable. They added a note to our file. Would you like to hear it? Yes, ma'am. Read from her screen. Species Homo. Classification updated following Threat Assessment Summit presentation. Note, they do not appear dangerous. This is how they have survived. The shuttle was silent for a moment, then laughed. It was a real laugh, not the controlled sound she made at diplomatic functions. They understand us better now. Perhaps, said, or perhaps they finally see what was always there. She looked at the crocodile soup. Was it really your grandmother's recipe? Nodded. Yes, ma'am. She made it every year. She said it reminded her that humans are survivors. We eat what tries to eat us. Smiled slightly. A good philosophy. She returned to her. I believe I will request that recipe when we return to Earth. It seems appropriate. Through the shuttle window, watched the Galactic Union station grow smaller. Thousands of aliens lived there. Thousands of species who had now learned the truth about humanity. We are small, we are soft, we have no claws or fangs. But we never give up, we never stop, and everything that underestimated us is now gone. He thought about his grandmother sitting by the river watching for crocodiles. She had been a small woman, soft like all humans, but she had never been afraid. Neither was he. Closed his eyes and rested. Tomorrow there would be more summits, more aliens who thought humans were weak, more lessons to teach. But for now, the tiger had become soup, and the village had survived. That was enough.